The stripy pole has symbolized barbershop since the Middle Ages, when barbers didn't just cut hair, but also perform surgery on the poor. The cheery red and white stripes, it's said, represent the inevitable bloodied bandages that come from such a trade. This has little to do with the singing tradition we know today, but it's worth considering that the history of barbershop is more batshit cray-cray than you might have first thought. No more so than in New York, 1940, in the All-America Barbershop Quartet competition, where Spencer White, a 38-year-old baritone, dreamed of glory. Spencer loved barbershop. The world was a frightening, confusing mess, except for when he sang with his buddies, Hank, Wally, and Bobby Buzz Bumble, aka the Cordial Fellows, spelled with an H. The holy grail of barbershop is the fifth voice, sometimes called the angel's voice. The synchrony of waveforms when bass, tenor, lead, and baritone ring together to form a magical something or other greater than their parts. They also say the high from creating the fifth voice is addictive. And Spencer was a junkie. The boys were sharing rehearsal space with New York's most prestigious barbershoppers, Blood from a Tone.
Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling.
Spencer and the boys listened helplessly as their rivals gave a version of Clementine that was as smooth as eggs in coffee, as they say.
Clementine.
Too soon, it was their turn.
Heart of my heart, I love you.
Blood from a Tone smirked nastily as the boys launched nervously into an easy standard, Heart of My Heart. Hank accidentally inhaled the pitch pipe. Buzz forgot the words. Wally's bass line sounded like a spasming walrus. Spencer tried to pull the boys together with his baritone, but it was like lassoing gravy. It was a shambles. More like fart of my fart, said Mitch, the least nice member of Blood from a Tone. Spencer couldn't help but agree. They were toast. That night, Spencer needed to be alone. He walked till he found a suitably gloomy bar. 2 big scotches later, he began to unwind. Buy me a drink? He looked up. A girl. She was ruby-mouthed, with startlingly green eyes. Spencer sighed. I'm not looking for company. Me neither, sweetheart. Just booze. I'd give my right tit for a big martini and a comfortable silence. Sorry. I, thought you were a, a pole doll. A what? A fifth wheeler. A boda buffer. A female admirer of barbershop quartets. Oh, there's a lot of that, is there? Oh, boy. You wouldn't believe it. Barbershop's a total sex festival. Spencer gasped at himself. Sorry. Rough day. I, wouldn't normally talk like that in front of a lady. Well, if I see one, I'll let you know. Under his waistcoat, Spencer's chest tightened in a way that usually only happened when he glissandoed during Sweet Adeline. So you're not into barbershop? Shit, no, she hooted. I hate barbershop. 4 white men in waistcoats singing stolen slave songs? It's my idea of hell. Actual hell. Spencer felt like he should defend his craft, but instead, he threw his head back and roared. Ha 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 ha! You're not one of them, are you? Oh, vulvas, she said, not actually embarrassed. Well, now you know I'm not trying to get into your +4s. Buy me a drink? I'm Lil. Maybe it was the martinis or the girl, but something cracked him open like an oyster, and it all came spilling out. His love of barbershop, his dreams of glory, the mediocrity of the Cordial Fellows. Lil made a suggestion. She was chief guest liaison at the hotel. Maybe she could help him out. But you hate barbershop, Spencer said. I mean, what do you know about getting Hank to stop singing through his nose or Wally to quit the vibrato? Oh, I can do things, she said. Yeah, what things? She sucked the olive from her cocktail stick in a way that made the blood whiz interestingly around Spencer's anatomy. Don't spoil the surprise, darling. I rarely get to be so thrillingly enigmatic. Maybe you're a good luck charm. You hired. Another martini? The next morning, Spencer's hangover made him ache with self-loathing. Boozing and flirting with dames in bars. What a barbershop cliche. That might be why other guys got into the a cappella game, the relentless sex and partying, but not Spencer. The theatre was packed with exciting, ruddy-faced quartets, and he realized how sad he'd be when the Cordial Fellows failed to qualify. The four friends took to the stage, farting gently with nerves. Hank blew into the pitch pipe and soloed.
My darling,
Spencer was stunned. Hank's voice had changed. Meaty, commanding, like Serrano Ham or John Ham. The other Cordial Fellows merged their voices into his and made Down by the Old Millstream their own. Spencer's playful baritone gripped the tonic through the changes, cutting the sweetness of Buzz's tenor like brandy. To the audience, it wasn't the sound so much as the feeling of being hosed down with warm melted chocolate.
Down by the old millstream.
As they left the stage, Spencer grabbed Hank. What was that? Some joker left this in my room. It's a nerve tonic. Boy, howdy do I feel healthy. Spencer examined the bottle. The medicinal compound was 22% alcohol, but it had relaxed Hank into a brilliant performance, so screw it. Wally put it down to some lucky socks left backstage by a fan. Whatever it was, felt magic. That night, while the rest of the boys headed to a pool party with a gang of cocktail waitresses, Spencer found himself back at the bar. You're welcome, Lil said. For what? Guest liaison? Oh, the tonic? And the socks? Well, thanks. I can do more, you know. What do you want, Spencer? He thought about the feeling in his tummy when the Cordial Fellows were in total harmony. I want to be the best barbershop baritone I can be. That's false modesty. You mean you want to win this contest thing, right? He chuckled, embarrassed. I guess. That's easy. Done. He laughed, not believing a word of it. Oh yeah? And what'll that cost me? Oh, hardly anything, lover. Just do a few little pranks for me. I'll make you a goddamn star. A crinkly brown contract appeared from nowhere. Spencer attempted to read it, but was distracted by her perfume and her leg pressing against his. Sorry about the flowery language, said Lil. They're a bit old-fashioned down south. South? Yeah, where my office is based. Way down south. You mean like Florida? Yeah, like Florida, sure. There were some decisions that seemed like a brilliant idea at 3 a.m. with the right bar, the right booze, the right girl. Spencer allowed Lil to prick his finger with his American Barbershop Association pin and signed in blood. Lil, who are you? Oh, didn't I mention it? Something red and blasphemous flopped out from beneath her skirt. Sweetheart, I'm the devil. Spencer spluttered. Well, I say the devil, Lil said, tucking her tail away. Not the devil, just his envoy. Let's start again. Hi, I'm Lilith. Lilith, the demon. Strangler of children. Seducer of men. Spencer gasped. I mean, it's only a title. I mean, just because a girl gives out some family planning advice and has an active social life. Well, what does Satan want with a barbershop baritone? His idea of a joke. This assignment to take your soul. He knows I hate barbershop. I want out, and he's not happy about it. She told Spencer that she was retiring from the temptation game, and he was her very last job on Earth. Congratulations, said Spencer. And then, wait, did you say, soul? Didn't you read the contract? She unfurled the crinkly scroll and tapped the relevant paragraph. Spencer White will be given such talents as a baritone to win the All-America Barbershop Quartet Finals with his band, the Cordial Fellows. The winning baritone shall pay the price of one immortal soul for all eternity, blah, 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 to the big red chap downstairs. Spencer's head swam. My soul? You won't even miss it, Luscious. Hardly anyone does. And when he awoke the next day, the whole thing felt like a martini dream. But a gentleman keeps his deals, even if they're with the devil. So he performed his first prank for Lil, leaving a burning Bible outside the hotel room belonging to the Apostles, a quartet of Baptist preachers from Kentucky. He had no idea why Lil, or Satan, he supposed, wanted this done. But when the Cordial Fellows sailed through the quarterfinals with a face-melting version of My Wild Irish Rose, he felt justified. At the after-party, the boys celebrated hard, although Spencer realized he felt oddly detached. Something had been missing from his performance. Though he'd never sung more beautifully, he realized he hadn't experienced his usual goosebumps. He glugged a glass of champagne and it tasted like tap water. Something was off. The next morning, he dutifully performed another prank, sliding pornography under the door of a nunnery and leaving a dead cockerel in a confession booth. He knew he should feel bad, but instead felt nothing. At the semi-finals, the boys pulled off a version of Let Me Call You Sweetheart with such tenderness that several female audience members were certain they were pregnant. And yet, the strange feeling of nothingness remained. When he sang, his voice had just flowed up through his throat uncontrollably like vomit. What was happening to him? But it was undeniable how happy success was making Hank, Wally, and Buzz. The boys begged him to celebrate. "Hey, you ever hear of this stuff? Cocaine?" said Hank. "The record company boys gave us some. It's the cat's pajamas." But Spencer had to find Lil. He needed to know what a soul was. Lil sighed. "Your whole personality, what you love, what you hate, your most mundane thoughts, your most squalid sexual desires. Now imagine all that shrunk down into something smaller than a raindrop. Now imagine billions of those raindrops smushed together." And, that's a soul, is it? No, said Lil. "That's just a business idea I've had. Not sure the technology is up to scratch yet. Maybe 50, 60 years. Stop joking, Lil. Something peculiar is happening to me." Lil looked concerned. "Most people don't even notice they have a soul. You know, if I'd known you were so sensitive, I never would have, Oh, buck up, Spence. This is what you wanted, remember? Now here's your next prank. I need you to kill a priest." "What?" "Nothing bloody. Just, loosening a few screws on a walker and letting nature take its course." "Murder? No way, Jose. That goes against all the principles of Fastbusqueauser." "Beg pardon?" Fastbusqueauser, the Fraternal Association for the Safeguarding and Promotion of Barbershop Quartets and Acapella across the United States of America. "Fuck me," muttered Lil. "Look, Spencer, this thing is on the rails. You can't go back. The Cordial Fellows will win. They can't be beaten. What about Blood from Atone? I mean, they're pretty terrific." "Not since their accident." "What accident?" Lil put a finger to his lips. They listened. There were screeching tires and the unmistakable sound of an out-of-control truck plowing into a barbershop quartet. "That accident." Spencer screamed. "Ah! They're out of the contest. Aren't you happy?" "No!" In the huge gilt mirror over the bar, he realized he could see every person in the bar's reflection. But not his own. What had become of him? He was a monster. A monster with a lovely voice and an eternity in hell ahead of him. All he wanted to do was make music with his buddies, to feel that holy communion with his fellow man. But here he was, decapitating cockerels, having his rivals smashed into by trucks. All because a pretty girl had promised him what? Fame? A record deal? A trophy? He realized he'd been chasing the wrong dream this whole time. "You stay away from me," he growled. "You tricked me, you lousy minx, with your ways and your wiles." "I did everything you wanted, Spencer. I like you. I'm trying to help you." "Horse feathers. You're nothing but a sneaky bitch." An Old Testament-y fire blasted in Lil's eyes. "Oh, sure," she said. "Blame the dame. Where have I heard that before?" "Now go suck a lemon." Spencer stormed out of the bar. Lil yelled after him. "By the way, Fastbusqueauser is the stupidest goddamn name I have ever heard." "Yeah, well, the joke's on you, lady. It's supposed to be stupid. It's barbershop," he screamed. We're whimsical people. After an awful, dreamless night's sleep, he awoke knowing what he had to do. The contract made it clear, he thought. If the Cordial Fellows won the final, then the devil got to keep his soul. He was gonna have to quit the band. He arrived backstage to find an excited Hank, Wally, and Buzz strapping on their arm garters and gargling with honey, doing last-minute prayers and trips to the toilet. Spencer had just enough soul left for his heart to ache. Fellas, Spencer said, I gotta tell you something. Hank slapped his back.
No time for jitters, buddy boy. Let's just get out there and do our best. Remember what's important.
I know. Friendship. The music.
No, the after party. We'll be knee-deep in liquor and quim.
Hank blew the pitch pipe.
Liquor and quim,
Harmonized Buzz and Wally. The Cordial Fellows laughed and shared a manly embrace. Wrapped in his friend's arms, Spencer knew he couldn't quit on them. Instead, he had a plan B. The announcement came.
Welcome to the stage, our finalists, Cordial Fellows and Blood from a Tone.
Spencer was relieved to see that their adversaries had survived the truck smash. They were bruised and battered, but still perky as anything in their stripy blazers. The Cordial Fellows were first. They lined up, gripped each other's shoulders, palms sweaty, eyes bright. Hank blew a C.
a youth one day in a
Part of my heart had never been more lovely. Spencer felt them, the goosebumps prickling on every person in the theatre, and to his tortured delight, him too, felt wonderful. Oh God, it was awful.
This rose was sadly sighed.
He had to fight it. It was time for Plan B. He was going to throw the gig. On the forthcoming Love in I Love You, he was supposed to sing a D, but instead, he would go D flat. He took a breath, hit the bum note. Then, just for insurance, he shoved Hank in the back. The four men toppled over into each other like dominoes, and then, suavely, supernaturally, rolled back on their heels like grass in the wind. And with a swooping grace to match this stylish choreography, the boys' voices bent with him into the D-flat major chord. Before Spencer knew what was going on, they'd resolved into a new tonic. I mean, it was a fabulously audacious move for barbershop, and the crowd went bananas. He couldn't fight it. The boys took it home. And on the last F-sharp, the angel's voice orgasmed round the theatre. And though the term wouldn't be used in music for a few more years, the Cordial Fellows had soul. Spencer bowed, left the stage, bit on the brim of his straw boater, and screamed silently. What had he done? It was Blood from a Tone's turn. Spencer watched them, hoping against hope that they would somehow be better. But how could they be?
A youth one day in a garden fair arose.
He watched, gobsmacked, as Blood from a Tone performed the most technically precise version of Heart of My Hearts that anyone had ever heard. Oh, sure, it lacked some of the ragtag yearning and dynamic flashiness of the Cordial Fellows take. But the baritone was a machine, locking into fifths and fourths, battering the judges with flawless seventh after flawless seventh. It was a relentless bombardment of pitch perfection. The judges were unanimous. The winners were Blood from a Tone. The other Cordial Fellows slapped each other on the back, too buzzed by their performance to be that downhearted. Spencer's heart soared. Could it be? Was he free? It was then that Mitch caught his eye and winked, and Spencer finally noticed. Mitch's eye was green. Startlingly green. Lilith. Lilith had possessed Mitch. Spencer pushed towards him, her. You won. Mitch/Lil grinned. Yes. No one else could beat you. No one human. Luckily, I had a feeling about you, so I put a loophole in the contract, just in case. But why? I'm a sneaky bitch, remember? Spencer blushed. I'm tired, Spencer. I've been bad for so long. I just wanted to do one nice thing before retirement. And I knew how much you wanted your soul back. Spencer checked the contract. There it was. The winning baritone shall pay the price of one immortal soul For all eternity. Spencer realized just what Lil had done for him. So you have to give your soul to the devil? I mean, how does that even work? Well, it means my soul belongs to him forever. I'm stuck here. You're going to hell? Hell means something different for everyone, sweetheart. Lil/Mitch wriggled around. Seeing as I seem unable to vacate this body, I think old Red Eyes has found a fun way to torture me. I don't get it, Spencer said. Just then, Bob from Blood from a Tone slammed Lil/Mitch on the back. He warned Mitch not to celebrate too hard as the band were rehearsing Camptown races in the morning. And Mitch mustn't forget to bring his boot polish. Oof, said Spencer. In that moment, Spencer realized that he'd just committed the only woman he'd ever loved to an eternity of her own personal hell, trapped in the body of a prize-winning barbershop baritone. Even though it was technically his idea of heaven, he felt terrible. Sorry, he mumbled, and for want of any better words, Spencer kissed him. A kiss of apology, of regret, a kiss goodbye, and Lil kissed him back, fiercely. Lil and Spencer burned for each other, with a fire that made hell look like Finland. Now, despite the fact that they didn't allow black members until the early 1960s, the chaps at Fastbusque Alsa really weren't that intolerant. But still, the sight of two middle-aged men from rival quartets snogging like a couple of high school sweethearts was a bit much for that era. When the silence stopped roaring and several hundred men remembered to breathe, the judges hastily decided that both Blood from a Tone and the Cordial Fellows were disqualified for behavior from their baritones not in keeping with the moral values of Fastbusque Alsa. Now, you might be ahead of Spencer and Lil, but it took them a few moments to realize what you have already, you clever thing. Neither of their souls belonged to the devil. They were free. Third place quartet, the Busy B Flats, were declared de facto winners. Technically, this meant that the baritone from the Busy B Flats now owed his soul to the devil, but he was an oaf and didn't miss it one bit. So there you have it. Lil left Mitch's body eventually, and Lil and Spencer, their souls betrothed to no one but each other, moved to Hell's Kitchen and opened a shop that sold jazz records. And yes, they got married, started a family. And yes, we all know what happens when the world's loveliest baritone and hell's sexiest demon make a baby. But the story of Prince can be told another day.